Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our meeting for the April 4th edition of North College Hill City Council. We will stand and start, as we always do, with our prayer. God, our Father, we are all your servants. We trust in your mercy and love. We trust also in your guidance. Direct the meetings of this Council of North College Hill to make good decisions for all the people who live in our city. Give all the members of this council wisdom and insight to know what is best for our city. Help us to be fair and just in all our decisions. Bless us all to do the very best we can. With your help and guidance, we pray this in your name. Amen. Call this meeting to order. We will now face the flag for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, good evening, everyone. Welcome. Mr. Hedger, please call the roll.
Dukestein.
Present.
Underwood.
Present.
Zorb.
Here.
Blythe.
Here.
Anderson.
Here.
Ms. DeWald is unable to join us this evening.
Mr. President,
Ms. Anderson?
I'd like to make a motion to excuse Ms. DeWald from tonight's meeting.
Mr. President, I'll second that.
Motion from Ms. Anderson, second by Ms. Zorb to excuse Ms. DeWald. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Dukestein.
Yes.
Underwood.
Yes.
Zorb.
Yes.
Blythe.
Yes.
Anderson.
Yes.
Motion passed 5-0.
All right, you have tonight's agenda.
Mr. President,
Ms. Underwood.
I move that we adopt tonight's agenda.
Mr. President,
Ms. Anderson.
should we motion to add ordinance 222 to tonight's agenda? I don't see it on mine. Was it already added to another copy that I still have?
It is not, it did not make the agenda.
Okay, can I motion to add ordinance 222 and ordinance, do I have to read the whole thing or just, is that okay?
No, you do
Okay.
not have to read the whole thing,
To
so,
tonight's agenda.
okay. Do you withdraw your move to adopt?
Yes, I'll withdraw my motion.
Mr. President, I will second the addition.
Okay. So motion to add ordinance 2/2022 to tonight's legislation portion of the agenda. Motion by Ms. Anderson, second by Ms. Zorb. Any discussion?
Mr. President,
Ms. Underwood?
I'm not sure what that ordinance is.
It is ordinance, there's that printed copy in your box. But
It was just emailed at 6 o'clock
yeah,
tonight.
it is ordinance regarding the loan for the road work on streets. So,
Perfect.
okay, please call the roll.
Dukestein.
Yes.
Underwood.
Yes.
Zorb.
Yes.
Blythe.
Yes.
Anderson.
Yes.
Motion passed 5-0.
Okay, now we do need to adopt the agenda.
Mr. President,
Ms. Underwood?
I move that we adopt tonight's agenda as amended.
Mr. President, I'll second that motion.
Motion by Ms. Underwood, second by Ms. Zorb to adopt tonight's agenda as it has been amended. Any discussion? Please call the roll, Mr. Hedger.
Dukestein.
Yes.
Underwood.
Yes.
Zorb.
Yes.
Blythe.
Yes.
Anderson.
Yes.
Motion passed 5-0.
All right, thank you. You have the minutes from the 3/21 meeting.
Mr. President,
Ms. Anderson?
I'll move to adopt the minutes from March 21st, 2022.
Mr. President, I'll second.
Motion by Ms. Anderson, second by Ms. Zorb to adopt the meeting minutes from 3/21/22. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Dukestein,
Yes.
Underwood,
Abstain.
Zorm,
Yes.
Blythe,
Yes.
Anderson.
Sorry, yes.
Motion passed for one abstention.
Thank you. Mr. Hedger, what communication do you have for us this evening?
Thank you, Mr. President. I have a communication from Rita, the appointment of delegate and alternate delegate to the Regional Income Tax Agency, Regional Council of Governments. It's needing 2 delegates, the delegate and the alternate, appointed and approved by the City Council to be added. And I did email the communication as well earlier. On top of that, I also have a notice from the Ohio Department of Commerce, the Division of Liquor Control, and it's a legislation authorities objections to renewal of liquor permits. I did provide an email to the administration. And then I also sent out the mayor court reports as well. That's it.
Thank you. Any questions regarding the communication for Mr. Hedger? All right, we'll move to council committees, starting with City Community Development and Recreation.
Thank you, Mr. President. We have not met since our last meeting. Our next meeting is next week, Monday, April 11th at 6:30 here in council chambers.
Thank you. Budget and Finance.
We have not met. Our next meeting is April the 11th at 7:30. We have not met since our last council meeting.
Thank you, Ms. Dukestein. Rules and Public Policy.
Thank you, Mr. President. First, I would like to say a special thank you to Marjorie Anderson, who took the minutes from our last meeting. We met last week on Monday. We briefly discussed tenant legislation, and what we decided was that we were going to look to other avenues to try to help our residents try to address their issues. That's not a legislative solution, since the judges in Hamilton County have elected not to enforce the current law as passed by the city of Cincinnati. We also briefly discussed parking legislation and kind of decided that we would try to see if we couldn't add having lines added to the streets as a part of having some of the streets redone. Also talked about legislative procedure briefly. Still, that's something that we're still talking about. Talked about council rules briefly as well. And we also discussed the where and how the agenda and minutes will be filed and kept. And the meeting was adjourned at 7:25 p.m.
Thank you, Ms. Underwood. Next up is Public Safety.
Thank you, Mr. President. The Public Safety Committee also met on March 28th. Special thank you to Marjorie Anderson for taking the minutes. We had a very detailed discussion about the police levy legislation. There were a lot of questions and information that several members were asking from the chief of police and the city administrator. So we are expecting to have some follow-up information from the chief and the city administrator. Specifically, and the chief did express that he has a wish list, and he will be providing more information about all of those items as well. Under new business, Ms. Dukestein brought up questions with regard to the street improvement, and we had a discussion about the offer of the interest-free loan so that we can repair 2 streets. I believe the legislation was added to the agenda this evening. We also discussed rumble strips, and so we'll continue to discuss rumble strips and other traffic calming measures, especially since it's getting warmer outside, and we want to keep our residents safe from people who tend to drive too quickly through the city of North College Hill. As a reminder, the speed limit is always 25 miles per hour through the city of North College Hill. And that is all.
Mr. President,
Mr. Hedger?
what is the next council meeting, our next committee meeting date?
It is the 4th Monday in April.
Mr. President,
Ms. Anderson?
that is April 25th.
Thank you.
For rules and public policy, it's at 6:30, and for public safety, it's 7:30.
Thank you, Ms. Anderson.
All right, thank you. Do we have any ad hoc reports this evening? Hearing none, we'll move to the administrative reports. First up is the mayor's report. Good evening, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. President. Couple of things. The first thing is, we've finished phase 1 of Dumley Park. The play sets are in. They look really nice. I drove around there actually 2 days in a row to peek at them. They really look good, and I'm excited about phase 2 and then phase 3. So phase 2 being the splash pad and 3 being the restrooms. So if you get a chance, ride past there and take a peek at those. We wanted to do a ribbon cutting for it, but I was told the kids have already broke it in, so I don't know if it's something we want to do. The Food Truck Friday was nice. I'll let Mr. Mosby talk more because he got some exciting news back from that. I'll just give the date of the next one, which is May 6th, same times, 4 to 7. The CIC will meet April 21st at 6:30 here in council chambers. We have the city cleanup day coming on April 30th from 9 to noon. If you know any students that would like to volunteer, they can get in touch with Ms. Cleary. We will do some of them needed for like credits, and it's slipping my mind what they needed for service hours. I'm sorry. I tend to sign a lot of those. One big thing, the hours changed for the city today from 8:30 to 4:30. So if you call after 4:30, most likely you won't get anybody. So, but now you can call as early as 8:30 and someone will be able to help you. The next thing, our UPC meeting is April 13th at 6 p.m. here in the council chambers, the Unified Progressive Committee. And finally, I would like to wish everyone a happy Resurrection Sunday or Easter, which is actually the 17th. We don't meet again until the 18th. And that's all I have. Oh, I don't.
Yeah,
I have something
Madam
else.
Mayor, you do have a bullet point there.
I do have something else, and I don't have my glasses, so I'm going to do the proclamation because now North College Hill is a tree city. And I did a proclamation for this, but this is a proclamation that just confirms that we are now a tree city. And it reads, City of North College Hill, Ohio, Arbor Day Proclamation. Whereas trees and the urban forest are an important component of our city's infrastructure. And whereas trees in the urban forests have been shown to reduce crime, vandalism, and domestic violence, as well as vehicular speed, and therefore are important components of our community safety mission. And whereas trees and the urban forest extends the life of our community streets, surface, and reduce stormwater runoff, and therefore are important resources for our community service mission. And whereas trees and the urban forest reduces the symptoms of ADD and ADHD and improves the concentration of school-aged children, allowing them to perform better in school and make better life choices, and therefore are valuable assets for our schools and educators teaching our next generation. And whereas trees in the urban forest reduces air conditioning and heating costs for residents and therefore makes our community more livable, saves our residents money, and reduces our need for foreign energy. And whereas trees in the urban forest make our neighborhoods more inviting and attractive and cause new home buyers to want to live in our community and be willing to pay more for a house in our community, and therefore are a foundation stone for our community development efforts. Let me read that again. And therefore are a foundation stone for our community's community development efforts. And whereas trees and the urban forest attract shoppers and businesses, inspire shoppers to visit more frequently, stay longer, pay to park, and spend more money, and therefore are important components of our community's economic development mission. And whereas trees in the urban forest reduces water pollution, I need my glasses. Let me go back. Reduces water pollution and the need to treat, and therefore are an integral part of our community's healthy water supply. And whereas trees in the urban forest reduces stress and human mortality from cardiac and lower respiratory illnesses, and therefore are critical to our community's EMS and health mission. And now, therefore, I, Tracy Nichols, Mayor of the City of North College Hill, Ohio, do hereby proclaim April 30th as Arbor Day in the City of North College Hill. And I urge all citizens to support efforts to protect and nurture our trees and urban forests, not just for the beauty they provide, but for the benefits they give our residents and community. And in witness whereof I have hereunto subscribed my name on this 4th day of April, 2022. And Ms. Zorb, are we going to have any trees to plant that day?
That is an excellent question that there needs to be further discussion on. There is the Tree City Board we have discussed and would like to plant trees at Veterans Park. However, it is my recent understanding that there is not a line item to fund those trees, so we have to figure out funding. I believe we need in the neighborhood of $1,200.
$1,200 for trees. How many trees would that provide?
6.
6. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Is that all, Ms. Nichols?
That was a lot.
That was a lot.
Anyone have any questions for the mayor?
Mr. President, I have a couple.
Ms. Zorb?
Ms. Nichols, would you care to reiterate a couple of those dates? I missed the CIC date and the UPC date.
Okay, CIC is April 21st at 6:30. It's every third Thursday of the month. And the UPC is every second. It's, for some reason is that a Wednesday? I have it on a Wednesday, yeah. We were on Tuesdays, but we switched it. It's every second Wednesday of the month at 6 p.m. So that would be the 13th.
Thank you.
All right, up next is the city administrator's report. Mr. Mosby, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. President. I do appreciate the mayor allowing me a little time. I'm not going to take up too much time, though, because I do have a special guest here. But as far as the Food Truck Friday event went, it was actually very tremendous. It was clearly the best turnout that we've had. The community showed out in great numbers. As well, the Urban Fast Forward, our consultant for the comprehensive plan, also came out, and they were able to get a lot of feedback from community members. So it was a home run, and I also, one of the other reasons that I'm very pleased about it is because it actually does show an example of how, when we work together, we can create this wonderful result. And what I mean by that is, when the mayor had the idea of the Food Truck Friday, one of the challenges that we had was, of course, we had an ordinance that prohibited food trucks from operating in the city. And so she went to Planning Commission. Planning Commission made the recommendation to change the law. Council passed that change, which gave us the ability to have these Food Truck Fridays. And so, you know, as I said, the feedback that I got was overwhelmingly positive, especially from the vendors, of course, that were there. They benefited greatly. So I look forward to the next several months of being able to do this, and I can see where this can blossom into even some greater opportunities. So I did want to share that, and again, just commend both the mayor and council for just the opportunity to have that. It was just a great event. There are a few other things. However, what I'm going to do is I'm going to yield my time. We have a gentleman here from Hamilton County. His name is Gage Bradford. He is a community specialist for Hamilton County Resource, which was formerly Waste and Recycling, or Recycling and Solid Waste. And he is here to talk about his program as well as some ideas that he has for the city of North College Hill. So, Mr. Bradford, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Ron, and thanks, Council, for allowing me the time. So as he said, I am a community specialist with Hamilton County Resource. Our entire mission is to help communities send less waste to our landfills. A little backdrop of that, a study of our landfill composition in 2019 showed that roughly 62% of what we are sending to our landfill could be or should be diverted. 30% of that being recyclable and 30% of that being compostable. So 60% of what we're sending to our landfills could and should be diverted. So I'd like to briefly touch on some of the programs we have available to communities, businesses, schools, etc., to help fight those issues. So one of our overarching umbrella programs is called the Let's Stop Waste program. That will service businesses, schools, public spaces, government buildings, what have you. And we will outfit the interior of buildings with any recycling bin needs, whether that's bins, signage, educational, speaking engagements, across the board in the community, completely free of charge. The only thing necessary for a business, or maybe even this building, for example, to take advantage of that is an existing pickup relationship with Rumpke. So we can provide you with all the material inside the building that you need to collect it, but if it's not being collected by Rumpke on a route, then it's kind of pointless. But that can get into schools, churches, businesses, across the board. Another program, this is business oriented. We have an internship program. It's called the P2. We will fund 75% of the cost for a 4-week internship intern that can be placed at a business, and as long as their program, their 12-week program, is focused on reducing pollution or litter or reducing waste, then they will qualify and we will fund 75% of that cost. So it's a really great opportunity for an administration or business, what have you. Moving right along, one of the more popular topics in rooms like this always is our grants. We do have 2 that we administer ourselves. One open year-round, open application until all the money is dried up, the Waste Reduction Innovation Grant. That is for up to $10,000. There is a 25% match, but the match, if it's on on a government applying, City of North College Hill, for example, the match can be in kind, so labor, for example. Some of the things I've seen that grant used for are upgraded storage methods for food pantries to help reduce the food going to landfills, equipment to help a community collect leaves and yard trimmings and whatnot, compost bins to distribute to the community. You know, anything innovative that's reducing wastes into the landfill is a good application. And we also have a very similar grant to that, but it's for $30,000, same 25% in-kind match, but it's only once a year in the spring. This year's has already passed, but it is competitive, so it's up to $30,000, and that's something worth noting as well. Another program, our container loan program. So this is for maybe a 4th of July event or an Arbor Day celebration that's bringing a lot of people into the community or on a street or whatever. We can provide completely free of charge some temporary pop-up recycling bins. So recycling can still be in the community but not be burdened with you know, having to purchase one-off containers. We do have school programs. We can assist programs with setting up and paying for certain field trips, which I think is really neat. And we also do speaking engagements around waste reduction, recycling, composting, and whatnot in schools as well. So that's all free. That's a great program. We do have a illegal dumping task force that we fund. We pay one officer out of the sheriff's office year-round to follow up on, investigate, and hopefully follow through to prosecution of illegal dumping issues. So we've got a reporting system on our website, hamiltoncountyresource.org, or you could obviously reach out to me directly. But he'll, you know, set up sting operations, if you will, cameras. It's a serious problem in the county, so he's very busy. But I have seen illegal dumpers be carried all the way through the court system with a hefty fine and whatnot, so that's a good program to keep in mind. Kind of piggybacking on that program, once a year in the fall, we have a free to any citizen in the county, one weekend event, a household hazardous products drop-off event. So if you're cleaning out mom's basement and there's a lot of chemicals or whatnot that you need to get rid of that aren't safe to put through your typical disposal methods, we do once a year in the fall a free drop-off event for any citizens on that. And lastly, on the programming side of things, we have just launched our yearly compost bin sale and composting 101 seminars. So I think the first seminar, I'll leave some information on the full slate. The first seminar is next Friday, but any citizen that attends one of our seminars will be awarded a $20 off coupon for our June 4th compost bin sale. So if some folks in North College Hill are wanting to try some backyard composting, that's a great opportunity for them.
June 1st?
June 4th. But the sale will be online, kind of pre-ordering up until that point. There will be some options for walk-up buyers as well. But there is, I think, 7 seminars leading up to the 4th that will provide a citizen with that $20 off coupon. So I believe that's all the programs I wanted to touch on. But I do have just a couple more minutes, if I can be given that time. I'd like to talk about, firstly, I've been in this position for about 1.5 years, and as the community specialist, I'm supposed to be, you know, fostering good relationships and communication with all 48 political jurisdictions in the county. That is not as easy as you might think. So I'd like to say that in my 1.5 years, North College Hill has been one of the communities that I've interacted with the most, whether that's Maureen Anderson in the administration. Ron has been great. I've had meetings with the Chamber of Commerce. So I would like to say that it's been good fostering that relationship, and I have not been able to make that connection with all communities in the county yet. And that plays into something that one of my lead programs that I'm responsible for is a program called the Target Community. It's a 2-year window where there's heavier collaboration between a specific community and my office. Extra funding, extra programming, communication. The idea of it is to, one, maybe help an underserved community a little bit more through the lens of waste reduction. Whether that's, they don't have the funding to maybe amp up their recycling programs or whatever. So that's a 2-year runway. That's $15,000 of extra focus from my office each of those years for that community, in a plethora of different examples of ways we could spend it, whether that's educational programs or infrastructural needs. So this month, I'm going to be doing a deep dive on a lot of communities that I think would maybe be a good fit for the next 2 years for that partnership. North College Hill is on my short list, so I wanted to make you all aware of that. So I will be deciding that this month, hopefully. So if any of you would like to maybe reach out to me or to the community and put together, some thoughts of why it might be the perfect relationship over these next couple of years, I would greatly appreciate that as well. I'll leave my business card and a seminar flyer for our compost seminars as well. Happy to answer any questions about the programs or anything else.
Mr. President.
Ms. Anderson?
I have a couple comments and a couple questions. I really, just the first comment, I did the last Composting 101 seminar with, well, my mom is Maureen Anderson, by the way. She was doing it, and then I was sitting in the background listening to all of it. But I really enjoyed it, and it was really informational, and we've composted for years, and I wish more people in our community did it, but I know it's a dedication, that is for sure. And then I was also wondering about the dumping task force. Would you prefer for a governmental person to reach out, or can an individual reach out about that? We have a citizen who's come to us many times about a company dumping on her property, and we've had a hard time kind of getting her help. As a legislative body, there isn't really much we can do about that, but we've been trying. So I think that would be a great resource for her. Is it okay if she reaches out, or would you like one of us to reach out for her?
No, absolutely. She can reach out directly. So I would be happy to take a phone call or whatever, just to
Awesome.
make her more comfortable with the process. But there is an application, if you will, a filing on our website that any, citizen or property owner can make.
Okay.
That includes, pictures, address, how long it's been going on, things like that, just to give the officer a background of what he may be getting into before he reaches out and tackles the problem.
Right.
I will say it's not a littering task force,
Right.
it's gotta be serious
Significant,
illegal
yeah.
dumping.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm happy to reach out and make that connection with the officer more directly, or walk her through that online process.
Okay. Is this like a code enforcement officer, or is this a police officer?
This is an officer out of the sheriff's office that we
Gotcha.
fund.
So it's not a code enforcement issue, it would be a lawful issue, is what you're saying. Great, okay, just making that clear. Thank you.
Anything else?
Mr. President.
Ms. Zorb?
Thank you, Mr. Rayford. That was a ton of information, and I'm scribbling. I hope I can read my notes. So I need to know, is everything that you ran down, will that be on your website if I go there? Because you provided a wealth of information.
HamiltonCountyResource.org.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
And like I said, I'll leave my card, so if you want to get, more direct information or conversation about any of the programs, just call me or email me.
Awesome. Thank you.
Awesome. Alrighty, thank you guys.
Thank you, Mr. Bradford.
Is my card here?
That's fine. Or I can take it and we can pass it around.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's great.
Mr. Mosby, do you have anything else, sir?
I don't have anything else right now, Mr. President.
Okay. Any questions for Mr. Mosby?
Mr. President,
Ms.
I
Blythe?
wanted to ask Mr. Mosby, and I know it's early, but I'm still thinking about August and September in this room. Have we got a chance to order the service for our AC for like May or June?
It has not been, if you're asking if it's been repaired yet, the answer is no, but it will be before June.
Okay. Sounds good. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Next up is the Law Director's Report. Evening, Mr. Dieters.
Good evening, Mr. President. I apologize for being a little bit behind. I had a meeting that ran long this evening, but I do not have a report this evening, but I'm happy to answer any questions anyone might have.
Mr. President,
Ms. Underwood.
I actually have a question for the law director. So, let's say, it's my understanding that all court proceedings are public. Is that correct?
Except for juvenile court adjudications.
Which I'm aware, I'm talking about like just
Or unless the judge
like
has
specifically mayor's court.
mayor's court. Yeah, those are public.
Mr. Dieters, can you?
So, in the event that an attorney calls a mayor's clerk and asks for information about the docket, then it would be appropriate for that mayor's court clerk to answer those questions. Am I correct in that?
I think I'd have to probably get more information about that. I mean, the docket's public, but the public would not necessarily have the ability to call our clerk and ask information about the docket.
Okay, so,
Like a published
where-
docket would be public.
okay, so where would a citizen go to find the docket for North College Hill Mayor's Court?
Well, I've never actually conducted court in North College Hill. I know if it's at like other mayor courts I have, there really is not a published docket like there is a common pleas court or municipal court. Usually there's, I don't know if you've ever been to criminal municipal court in the county, but
A few times.
yeah, but you know how that works, right? Like, there's a list of what's supposed to be there that day, but the prosecutor comes in with this big stack, and it gets pushed all around the place, and then cases just get called. So, I don't know if we publish a specific docket here at North College Hill, but if we, I'm not aware if we do or we do not. But I would typically, if you asked, you know, is Mr. Dieter's traffic ticket up on the docket today? I would imagine that's a question that could probably, if the information was available, could be provided, right?
It should be, right? We would agree with that,
I would think
right?
so, but I'm obviously being cautious to say because I don't have all the facts. So yeah, I always worry when someone says I have this friend who has a problem, and then I get a little worried sometimes. But I would say typically yes, but I don't know what happened in that situation.
Okay,
So.
fair enough. Thank you.
Any other questions for Mr. Dieters?
I guess my timing was good getting here when I did.
Yes, sir. You weren't late yet.
Nope.
All right. Next up is the Finance Director's Report. I do not see her with us this evening, so we'll go to call of members. Ms. Dukestein.
I would like to just thank Mr. Mosby and his wife. They, for the last 2 Fridays, just have provided my family and I with pizza, and my kids are here to say thank you. They made a little card. You can give it to her. She's in the purple behind you. So it's been really nice not to have to cook on Fridays. And they have definitely appreciated it. Last Friday, we came up to the food truck, which kind of leads me into the next thing, was we got funnel cakes. It was an awesome turnout. It was nice to see everybody here. I saw community people talking. So it was just really, really nice. Just wanted to say that. And a thank you again to all the council members who've just been very gentle with me. I really appreciate that, and Mayor Nichols, and can't say how much I appreciate it. It's been a tough time. And I didn't get to say thank you to the guy who gave us the information about from the Hamilton County resource, but that was a wealth of information. I can't wait to compost. So, and you guys can go home.
Thank you, Ms. Dukestein. Next up, Ms. Underwood.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have nothing to add at this time. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Zorb?
Thank you, Mr. President. The only thing I want to say is, regretfully, I have not made it to one of these food truck Fridays yet. My schedule just has not allowed me to do that, but I am looking forward to the next one.
Thank you. Ms. Blythe?
No comment at this time.
Thank you. Ms. Anderson?
Thank you, Mr. President. I just want to welcome Miss Cleary, right? That's Clear. No why. Clear. Okay, Miss Clear, to our circus. Yeah, obviously I know that you're already part of our community, but welcome to our circus. I'm really excited to start working with you and getting everything moving. I think that it'll be it'll be awesome. From what I've heard from a little birdie, she told me that you are so ecstatic and such a joy to work with, so I'm excited.
Hey, Ms. Anderson?
Yes.
Would you mind, for the record, explaining what Ms. Clear is going to be doing for North College Hill?
She is our recreation director, and as the chair of City Community Development and Recreation, I am very excited. I got like a list of things that I'm like, I won't throw it at you right away, but I'm excited. They're coming for you. I would also like to shout out, I saw the other day somebody posted in one of the North College Hill Facebook pages about a smoothie place that just opened up right next to the high school, and it's called Smoothie Cafe 513, and it's a Black-owned business, and it's a small business, and I just think that is such a cool addition to our commerce in North College Hill, and I am so excited. They closed at 4 today, and I had some car issues, so I really wanted to go after work, but I'm going to really try to make it there sometime this week, and I love a good smoothie, so I'm really looking forward to it. But that is all that I have, so thank you, Mr. President.
Mr. President,
Ms. Nichols?
he has not been open.
Oh,
His grand opening was the 27th. I do believe that could have been the only day he was open.
He posted something today that he was open till 4.
Well,
Maybe it was like a soft.
Maybe
opening?
it was a soft, because,
Yeah.
I mean, I was looking out the window and
Yeah. Also keep an eye out on his. They have a Facebook page. I reposted it today. If you guys
he
want to
is,
follow him.
his name is Mr. Ren Harris. He's also, I think he's like a workout guru.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so he's into healthy, if you like healthy. You know, I was just gonna go, I don't really like healthy, so I was just gonna go support.
So maybe they
one of
make
those
like.
wheat crafts.
I saw they make like a really. He posted one today, and it was like a chocolate peanut butter smoothie,
Yeah,
and I was
he had,
like, and that sounds
You know,
like.
if you're into smoothies, you know, I'm sorry, Mr. Mosby. I would go support it. I mean, you
Yeah.
know, then maybe I might like healthy that way.
Maybe you'll just
but-
bring your own sugar packets and.
Oh, I don't need that, but I just, you know,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. He wasn't open. I just should have.
Right. No, I appreciate that. Yeah, I think they had like a little soft opening or something today. I think he's been posting updates on his Facebook. I just think that's so cool. We don't. That's something we don't have. Yeah. But yeah.
I did invite him to a food truck Friday.
Oh, perfect. There we go. Thank you.
Mr. President,
Mr. Mosby?
I just have one thing. So I owe Mrs. Clear an apology because I was remiss in introducing her. I remember that I had mentioned to you all that she had been hired, but I did not formally introduce her. So her name is Annalisa Clear, and she does live in the community, as I had mentioned before, and she has already been a great asset to our community. So I'm very much looking forward to working with her in the future, and I know that great things are going to happen.
All right, thank you. All right, next up is remarks from the audience. So if we have anyone signed in, and if anyone else would like to address council that came in late, just please sign in with Mr. Hedger over there.
We do have 2 signed in. We have, first is Cindy Mosby.
One, I want to thank you for the opportunity to share some of my thoughts. I was at the last council meeting, and I thought it was important that I share with the council some of my concerns. And so the comments that you're about to hear from me today are not hearsay, and they are not gossip. I was actually here at some of the council meetings. I either heard them on the recordings, or I was at public events when these statements were made. So I will start. I heard the citizens cry out and ask the council to repair the streets. A solution was offered, but I heard you say, I don't understand how a 30-year, no-interest loan is beneficial to repairing streets. And one council member said to me, my street is fixed, but it didn't fix the flooding. I heard the city workers cry out and ask for a standard wage increase. A solution was offered, and I heard a council person say, they don't do any work. All I see them doing is riding up and down the street. Another council person said, what's the standard wage for a councilman? Where's my money? I haven't gotten it. I heard investors cry out and say, your fees are too high. A solution was offered. I heard a council person say, oh, well, they can invest somewhere else. My question is, who's left to help the city get better? This is now my opinion. As servants of this city, I'm looking out. I believe you're looking out for the interests of all citizens because it's important. Special interest is stingy, it's malicious, and it is hostile, creating a hostile work environment. Paying people a good standard wage attracts good talent. Encouraging people to be a part of the city's future, meaning investing in this city, means inclusion, it means diversity, and it means opportunity for everyone. Looking back to yesteryears creates conflict. It hinders growth and causes nothing to get done. Who wants to be a part of that? Only people who don't have the interests of the city in mind. And I want to thank your council person, Matthew Miller Novak, for speaking up, because it actually inspired me to speak to you. And so what I did after that council meeting, as I went out on the street, and I went to Prospect Place, and I went and knocked on the doors of all of those citizens, and I got them to sign the petition that said, repair our road. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Mosby.
Mr.
Mosby, sorry.
Mr. President,
Ms. Underwood.
I would just like to tell Mrs. Mosby that I remind my colleagues about Prospect Place at every opportunity that I have. It's on my agenda for the public safety meeting, every meeting. It has been since it was voted down, and I understand, I respect the majority opinion, but I also understand that I have a voice, and every time I have an opportunity to say Prospect Place, I say Prospect Place, and everybody will attest to that. So as soon as we can repair Prospect Place, it will be repaired.
Mr. Hedger.
Next, we have Brenda Mcgee to speak.
All right, thank you for allowing me to speak today. I'm a longtime resident of North College Hill. I lived on Galbraith Road as a renter for about 8 years. And then I moved to Mount Healthy. And after I left Mount Healthy, I moved to the corner of Emerson and Parrish. I'm on that corner house at the stop sign, been there since 1998 as renter for 2 years, and I currently, I purchased the house in 2000 and been there since, and 100% own the house. However, since I've been there, I'm probably one of the elder residents on that street now, because a lot of people moved out and new people moved in. But what I've observed and had to fight for a long time is that the people on Parish the new people moved in weren't taking care of the property. Some of them are people who have purchased the property and just renting them. But what I've observed on that corner, I keep my house very beautiful on that corner. And when I bought the house from the lady back in 2000, there was a lot of problems with the house, but I've put in siding, I've done everything to the house. One of the fights I had a long time ago with the people of North College Hill, it was because that house did not have a driveway. And at that time, I was not allowed to put in a driveway because it said it was within 25 feet of the stop sign. So I lived there for a while with a handicap. On top of that, I must say that IMC, the North College Hill woman, get 15 minutes of fame on Oprah. That's me. But after that show, and it was a 2-part series, and most of it was about me, because I was not supposed to be here today. But with the grace of Oprah and Dr. Oz and Dr. Rosen, I'm here to say I'm here. So I asked the council to put in a handicap sign because the people, my neighbors, would not allow me a parking space across from my house. And I didn't have a driveway, and the council wouldn't let me put one in because they said it was an ordinance. So I stayed in that house still, and then ultimately, after the Oprah show, I had a sign on my door that said that the ordinance was lifted and I could put in a driveway. But before that, I fought with the council to put in the handicaps. So I have a handicap right across from my steps. But when they put it in, I asked them, I gave them a location where I wanted it, but they wouldn't do it. They put it right across from the steps, which is too close to the stop sign. So when people, that corner is terrible. I don't know if anybody knows, it's very terrible. No one stops at that sign, no one. And it's constant traffic going over to Simpson. And what happens is, because my car, the handicap spot, they said it had to be across from my steps, and when I kept telling them it's too close to the corner. Well, when I'm trying to go over there, a lot of people have almost hit me and my children when they were smaller. And on top of it, they can't, when they make that left, they have to go up behind my car in order to avoid hitting the people coming down to make the right or the left. And so therefore, my car is not in the best spot, okay? Well, the end of January, the car was totaled, and that was the car Oprah gave me. So, Farmers totaled it, but Progressive is trying to fix it, but we're back there again. So before I came here today, some of my neighbors, I saw them outside, and I spoke to them. They're willing to sign, a sheet or something. They also want a stop sign there. There's a stop sign where my house is on Emerson, but now we would like to request a stop sign be put on, it's on Parish. We would like to request that a stop sign be put on Emerson to force those people to stop. They don't stop. So they swing around and they make a left, and they never stop there. The stop sign is right where my property in the corner. However, if they go all the way up to the stop sign, they risk hitting the person going to the left because my car is sitting there too close to the corner because of the handicap sign they put where I didn't want it. So when I talked to my neighbors, they were saying, well, can you talk to them tonight, and we're willing to decide if they would just put a stop sign there to force those people making the left to stop. Someone else's, even though my car got totaled, but someone's going to get hurt right there. The other thing I was requesting, when they fixed our street, everybody got a concrete sidewalk to the street. I didn't. And when I asked before, I forgot his name, and I asked that one be put in, I was told that it had to be put in when they fixed the street, otherwise I couldn't get one. So when the snow hits, even though I come down my steps, I have to go across the street, across the mud and the high snow that they shovel and put up there. I need concrete from my steps to the street. It's just a little strip that everybody, other houses have. I just don't. And I'm on the corner. So I have to walk down, when I go down the steps, I have to walk down to the corner where the apron is and then go up to my car. So, and I do have a handicap. So I'm asking that, there's two things. I'm asking that I get the concrete strip put in there like everybody else, and also to put a stop sign there. Someone's going to get hurt really bad. They're going at least, I would say, about 40 miles an hour around that curve all the time. You hear it all day, and it's constant traffic day and night. There needs to be a stop sign there. And now that my car got hit and totaled, it's pushing me, and I can hit, I don't know if y'all have a form I can get signed. I know everybody will sign it. They're all with me on this. They think that needs to stop there. Now, one time they did put one of those speeding things there, but that didn't do any good.
Mr. President.
Ms. Anderson.
Sorry, when you say speeding thing, what do you mean?
They put up this thing to see how fast people were going.
That's what I was.
They did that like maybe twice since I've been living there.
Yeah, I was gonna ask. I know that we have some of the speed humps and speed bumps and all that jazz coming in, and I know council still hasn't really seen. I don't know if it's that we haven't seen it or if it just isn't done yet or what, but I'm not sure if there's still a location available for one of the speed bumps or speed humps. But possibly like Emerson or Parrish, and then I'm sure Miss Underwood, she's in charge of public safety. I'm sure she's already got it on her list, and if she doesn't, I'll poke her.
I think the people everybody's been complaining about it with the officers, the police, and everything. But I think the people in our neighborhood, because I even, some people had mentioned the speed bump. I think in that community, we would be better served with a stop sign.
Oh yeah, I think maybe both even.
Because there's one there, but something needs to be right here at Emerson before they make that left.
Right.
Because there's no way you can make that left safely, but not really. The people they're doing a rolling stop at the stop sign on Parrish. If they come all the way up to the stop sign, they risk hitting that person, and no one looks. You see what I'm saying? They just kind of, and no one stops to even see if there's anybody coming down Parrish. And so we've seen, several accidents there. I know somebody ran into the lady's house that's right there on Emerson like twice. There was a police chase one time. And she put up a fence to stop them from running into her house all the time. But they need to put something there. No, it's just like a drag race right there. People have called the police. They don't do anything about it. So I'm here to ask, because now that my car got totaled, I was like, oh, God. I just really here to ask if there's something they could do about it.
Mr. President.
Ms. Underwood.
Okay, so I'm looking kind of at a map because I'm not really familiar with what you're talking about. Do you need the stop sign on Parrish?
There's one on Parrish.
Okay.
It's coming down Emerson right there where they have to turn onto Parrish.
Okay.
That's a danger zone right there.
Okay.
So that's what we thought as a community. It would be the best fix for it. I thought about moving my handicap, but then I couldn't, I would have to move it in front of another house there that has other women in there that are handicapped. So I couldn't figure out where they would put it at this point. It could, but they definitely have to get people to stop there on Emerson.
And ma'am, what Ms. McGee, is that right?
Yes.
So if I knock on your door, so you can explain to me what you're, because I don't
Yes.
know kind of what you mean when you say the driveway or the concrete or the apron. Would you mind just kind of showing me what you mean?
Yes, it's right at the bottom of my steps. You know, there's, when I come down the steps and you just walk in, I have to walk across the street to the handicap. I have to step on mud and dirt and snow and everything.
Okay.
And everyone on that street has like a little strip of concrete there where they can just walk into it. It was
Okay.
never put on mine because they said, because I don't know why, they said they just never did it. But when I asked and requested, they said I had to put it in myself. But I felt like I shouldn't have to put that in. Everybody else got theirs put in by the city.
Right.
So I just won't, it's just like a small, it's not a, you know, it's like the size, I don't know if it's the size of a sidewalk, I think it's a little smaller. But everybody has it in front of their house, like the sidewalk, and then you have the sidewalk going this way, and there's a strip right there where the grass is.
Okay.
And, yeah, I would like to have that so I can walk across the street,
Thank you, Ms. McGee.
okay? And then one more thing, and I had spoke to her. There's several houses on Paris that are not taking care of their houses either. So if you'll just roll down, because they complained about my garbage can being at the end of my driveway. But because I have a handicap, I can't pull it up, that steep driveway that I had to get put in. But they complained about it and put a sticker on me. And the lady across the street, one of the people moved out, and they complained about her, the lady that moved out had put some things on the sidewalk, and they said they couldn't be there. But between me and them, we cut our grass, we keep our yard up. You see my yard is immaculate. It's all I got all kind of, I got lights. But, and then I got this sticker, and I guess what I was worried about was like, this man behind me has yard sales every day. He has a place in the alley there that's just full of junk, you know, and the lady next door complained about it, so they finally made him not have the yard sales in the front yard, but he has the yard sales in the backyard. It's full of junk. So now I and my neighbor now have mice from him hoarding all that stuff back there. His father had died and he moved in, but and on a regular, we see cars stopping there, so I know he's doing some kind of dealing, right? They have done nothing about it. So, and then there's another one up on the other corner of Parish, and that lady doesn't take care of her property. There's all kind of junk in the yard. You see it, you can't miss it. It's on the same side of the street I'm on. That has not been taken care of yet either. And then no one, you know, like I edged it's between the street and the sidewalk. Who is responsible for getting the grass out of that? I don't know. Can somebody tell me? So like when you in the street and they got that big edge there, grass is growing up between that and the street on a regular. It looks terrible. So when the summer comes, it's way up high. Well, people cut their grass, but they won't cut that, and it's ugly. So I'm on the corner. Now, I cut mine. Anybody cut my grass, they already know. We got to take care of Ms. McGee. She don't play that. So I cut it. But you go up that street, none of those people cut that. So who's responsible for cutting that? Is it the city or is it the homeowner? The homeowner? It's a mess.
Mr. President.
Ms. Anderson.
Have you said that you've reached out to code enforcement about it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Many times. They know who I am.
Yeah. As I know.
They know from the handicap. They know who I am.
Because I know that okay, I shouldn't say I know. I believe there's an ordinance where you have to have like a permit to have a yard sale, right? Except for on the world's longest yard sale day. So,
Yeah.
I mean, just from that.
And one free a year.
Yeah. So, I mean, just from that.
He does it on a regular. But the lady next door to me, she complained. She told me she did.
Yeah. So
now, he thinks it was me, but it wasn't. It was her. Well, somebody must have said something to him because he stopped doing it in the front yard.
Yeah. Because at that point, I don't think that it's a code enforcement. I think at that point, it's a law, right? It would be criminal. It would be the police. Am I wrong about that, Mr. Dieters?
I'd have to look at the ordinance. I don't know.
Can you look at the ordinance? Okay.
Because
Yeah,
they
'cause
made him
I'll-
stop doing it in the front.
I frequently speak to Chief Schran, so I'll bring that up next time.
And
I
the
talk to him.
alley itself, they must have said something to him because the alley that goes up, I don't know what the name of that alley is, but he had that stuff all out in the alley behind there. Somebody must have said something because now he's put it in his yard and it's in his shed. But the problem is the rodents. There's
yeah.
like raccoons, possums.
I would call.
Rats.
I have Chief Schran's email. He said to give it out to anybody who hasn't gotten what they needed when they've called the police. So you can email him directly. That's what he has suggested, not me. He has suggested that citizens email or call him directly.
Who is that?
Chief Schran, he's our
Okay.
chief of police.
Okay.
As we've had a lot of issues where citizens have not gotten what they've needed from our police officers.
Right.
So as a solution, he has offered to take those requests personally. So
Yeah, because
I
I've
can
called
give
them and
you-
they don't do anything about it.
Yeah, no, I've experienced it too. Yeah, trust me, I get it. Do you want me to write down his email for you? And
Yes,
you can email?
thank you.
Yes, of course. I will write that down right now.
Okay. Thank you, Ms.
Okay,
McGee.
thank you for listening to me. Thank you.
Yeah, of
Hopefully we
course.
see some action. All right.
Okay, next item on the agenda is to call an executive session. And this executive session is in regards to employees, correct? So, Mr. Dieters, if you could help with the language.
Well, I think there's a couple things. One, did you need to talk about the collective bargaining agreement at all or not? I don't know if that's something you want us to speak to. And then I believe you have a personnel issue on it.
So that explains Mr. Hedger.
So there's one we discussed the compensation of a public employee. And then, I don't know,
Is that why you're gonna leave us?
yeah, and then I guess the other one would be collective bargaining in case that comes up.
Okay. We need a motion to go into executive session.
Are we gonna stay in here or go in the small room?
Let's get the motion.
I'm sorry?
Here or the small room?
So we shouldn't go in there, or?
If people, no, she's asking what the plan is.
So,
If residents stay, we'll have to go in there. We would need a motion first.
Okay.
I make a motion to go into executive session.
Mr. President, I'll second that motion.
Okay, so we got a motion to go into executive session to, one, discuss compensation of a public employee, and two, potentially the collective bargaining agreement. Motion is by Ms. Dukes-Dean, second by Ms. Underwood. Any discussion? Mr. Hedger, please call the roll.
Dukestein,
Yes.
Underwood,
Yes.
Zorb,
Yes.
Blythe,
Yes.
Anderson.
Yes.
Motion passed, 5-0.
What if we all said no?
I don't think we would have one.
What?
What's her first name? I was trying to find where she was. I couldn't find it because
I know she's on the corner of Parrish and, Parrish and Emerson, and I found it.
Ms. Anderson?
Oh, wait.
Where'd Loree run
Oh.
off to?
Probably the restaurant.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
There you go. Make a declaration.
I hear.
Like I declare.
Hear ye, hear
Wish
ye.
Ms. Blythe would have said she was stepping out.
I didn't realize it till I even turned over and saw the empty
Gavel her
chair.
back in here.
So we're gonna warm up.
Yes.
Did you put us back in pause mode?
I'm going to-
All right, we are back from executive session, and we are up to legislation. Mr. Hedger?
Third reading resolution number 9, 2022, a resolution to approve an agreement with the Ohio Auditor of State to participate in the Uniform Accounting Network.
Mr. President,
Ms. Zorb?
I'll make a motion that we adopt the resolution 09, 2022.
Mr. President, I'll second that motion. Sorry.
Motion by Ms. Zorb, second by Ms. Anderson to accept Resolution 09-2022. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Dukestein,
Yes.
Underwood,
Yes.
Zorb,
Yes.
Blythe,
Yes.
Anderson.
Yes.
Motion passed, 5-0.
Mr. President,
Mr. Mosby?
yeah, I just want to thank council for that. We will be starting immediately to get that process underway. I believe that Mrs. Vanderburg, when she came earlier, had mentioned that the version of CMI that we are using, it would be obsolete within a year. So this will allow us to, obviously use the Uniform Accounting Network. So, thank you.
Mr. Hedger?
First reading, Resolution 10, 2022, a resolution determining to proceed with the renewal of the existing police levy of a tax in excess of 10 mil limitation.
Next.
Third reading, Resolution number 11, 2022, a resolution to authorize the city administrator to execute a collective bargaining agreement between the city of North College Hill and the Fraternal Order of Police, Ohio Labor Council, Inc.
Mr. President,
Ms. Zorb?
I'll make a motion that we adopt resolution number 11, 2022.
Mr. President,
Ms. Dukestein?
I'll second that.
Motion from Ms. Zorb, second by Ms. Dukestein to adopt Resolution 11 2022. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Dukestein,
Yes.
Underwood,
Yes.
Zorb,
Yes.
Blythe,
Yes.
Anderson.
Yes.
Motion passed, 5-0.
And one more.
First reading ordinance number 2, 2022, an ordinance to authorize an agreement to accept an Ohio Public Works Commission interest-free loan for certain necessary road improvements.
Mr. President,
Ms. Underwood,
I move that we suspend the.
we can't
sec-
suspend.
We can't.
We do not have enough members.
Okay, fair enough.
For ordinance 2.
Okay, next up is further remarks from the audience. As no one is present, we will move to old business. Hearing no old business, we'll move to new business.
Mr. President, oh, sorry.
I'll go to Ms. Dukestein first, if that's all right.
I just was gonna say with the food truck event, I don't really know. That was kind of in lieu when I came in. So just my observation when we were out there is that we could use like maybe some picnic benches and tables because people wanted to stay and eat. But I saw people rushing off to get like eating in their cars. And I was just going to suggest that maybe we add to that as we grow, maybe not right away, but just some small spaces for people to like sit and eat. Yeah. And because the community was, there was a lot of community interaction. Little kids were playing with other little kids. My kids were playing with other people's kids. That quite naturally made me want to talk to their parents, get to know them. And I saw others doing that and engaging. I would have been happy to pull up a seat in that moment. There were others looking for seats. They were eating in their cars and coming back and out and standing and talking to people. So maybe a long-term goal, maybe not right away. And
Mr. President, sorry. Okay, sorry. I didn't want to cut you off. I'm sorry. Mr. President.
Ms. Anderson?
Could we, I know that, at this last Fridays, there was, like a fundraiser with the Pops, right? Like.
Yes, that's for there was raising funds for the Historical Society.
Right. Could the next one possibly be like, buy a pop to raise money for a couple picnic tables kind of thing, or like the trees board? I don't know. So I was just, but yeah, I think that might be something, or even like, see if like the kids at the school want to partner and do like a bake sale. I don't know, something fun. But I think that with you saying a long-term goal, I think that possibly like raising funds that way, maybe, would that be possible?
Mr. President.
Mr. Mosby?
Yeah, I agree with you, and I was we were kind of thinking along the same line. There could be various things since the Historical Society was they bought the pop and they were, so everything was with the historical, right. Likewise, if there was another organization that, let's say, wanted to do split the pot or something like that, they could honestly do that, and that would be another way to raise funds that we would be able to use perhaps in order to purchase some of those other things. But I will tell you that, and going back to what you were saying, I have talked to Public Works about that, so we were looking at what we would be able to do. We may have to, as you pointed out, we may have to do some borrowing at first for next month, but we will definitely have something out there for that.
Mr. President.
I'm sorry, I skipped Ms. Zorb, so I'm going to go to Ms. Zorb.
Okay, no worries.
AKA Skippy. I was wondering, perhaps there's a temporary solution. We could just put some folding tables out there and people just sit in that.
I was gonna ask if these could go out. That's what I was gonna ask, these folding
Yep.
chairs
Just anything to.
Mr. President,
But
temporarily.
I'm just
Ms.
gonna-
Blythe, can you stop adding while Ms. Zorb is talking?
Yeah.
Please address me when you need to speak.
Sure.
Thank you.
I,
Ms. Orb?
I had other items, but it's not on the same topic. Do we want to
So,
finish
Ms.
that
Dukestein,
topic
did you have
first?
something on that topic?
Yeah, I was just gonna say those chairs are a hazard.
Mr. President,
Mr. President,
Ms. Nichols?
if I could, Ms. Dukestein, it's a short-term goal. It was one of the things that I even asked for earlier on. I asked for seating. I asked for like a hand washing station, maybe. Someone came at one of our first food trucks and she had a little water with soap little station. So, we're already thinking along those lines. When I was standing there Friday, I was looking at the setup and I even said to Mr. Mosby, and I said it to Marty and Miss Willis who were there, like we need to put, if we get a bouncy house, where would it go? Where would this go? So just thinking along those ideas. I don't know, we're not big, but that was big. I started parking on the side up here, so people started to follow parking there. They were parking in the fire lane. I didn't say that out loud, but, you know, so we're already there, but that's a short-term goal for me. Like, that's something that I think that we need immediately, not, you know. I know there's a couple folding tables, but I don't think we have pretty many folding chairs, do we?
Ms. Blythe?
yeah, I was going to suggest that we could take these folding chairs out there temporarily. The only problem I've had with these folding chairs is I've placed my laptop on them before, not knowing that they will do a flip. If a person sits in them, I don't think they'll flip, but my laptop has been flipped on several occasions. Thank you.
Mr. President?
Ms. Orb?
So I'm changing the topic now. I know Mr. Hedger in communication mentioned we need RETA representatives. I'm assuming, because I thought I was I think it's called backup. Alternate, thank you. So I'm assuming that means that expired? Is that what that means?
It's a great question. It doesn't mention anything about expiring, but they did send it, so maybe it does. I'm not sure.
So it might be as simple as checking our list, seeing who it is, and submitting it back to them.
Okay.
Well,
But I don't remember who the primary was. I don't have the list in front of me.
I don't remember either. The
I
last
just
one I remember
remember
was Ms. Bailey. So I don't know. I'm sure there was somebody after that. I just don't recall it.
Okay.
And no one's speaking up, so I don't know who it was.
I thought that one was that on like I'm sorry, Mr. President.
Ms. Dukestein?
Was that like on a Tuesday or something?
The meetings?
No, I think
There's never, ever
Yeah.
been one.
only when needed.
Yes. So it's,
Let's confirm, let's check our list, confirm, and if we need to get somebody, let's get that done at the next meeting.
and I want to point out, Mr. President, also, I don't believe we have anyone as a school board rep at this time either.
Mr. President,
Ms. Anderson?
what night do the school board representatives meet?
School board is on the second Monday.
Right, okay, so that would be at the same time as city community development. So I
Yes, ma'am.
can't do it, but I would have loved to. Oh, well. Sorry. And sorry, Mr. President.
Ms. Anderson?
I think everybody's on my committee, so I don't think anybody would be able to do it currently unless we got another member. I know we have an empty chair.
Okay.
Mr. President, I don't think they don't record theirs, right? So
No,
it's
they
not
do
like
not.
we could
Correct, they do
go
not.
home and catch up.
They do not record them.
They
You-
sent out an agenda.
Yeah,
I
you
guess
could
if
get the
you wanna
minutes, but
know.
they do not do ICRC.
I'm sorry.
On that, did you have anything else? Ms.
I
Wood?
did not, thank you.
On that note, we also need a president pro tem. I thought about that tonight.
Mr. President,
Ms. Anderson?
is that something where somebody has to volunteer or where somebody is nominated, or what is the protocol for that?
I mean, I would prefer someone who wants to do it.
But, like, do we have to motion for somebody? Okay.
Mr. President,
Ms. Dukestein,
what did you say? We need a what?
our president pro tem. That is the person that backs me up if I get hit by a bus.
Oh,
Aw.
It was Mr. Miller Novak.
Hit by a bus.
Runs the meetings when I am not present.
Mr. President,
Ms. Anderson.
I know that Miss Underwood, I'm so sorry, has had a lot on her plate. But I feel like as a lawyer may do a good job. I'm hiding my face. I don't think she wants to do it though, by the look
A
on her
lawyer.
face.
I'm a criminal lawyer.
I know, but you're such a good one.
We all have tendencies to be criminals.
I'm sorry.
Mr. President,
Ms.
We can
Dukestein.
think
I
about
think
it.
Ms. Underwood should do it also.
Feel some peer pressure.
Mr. President,
Ms. Zorb.
I think she should only do it if she wants to do it.
I would agree.
I like that. Mr. President.
How about if we think about it?
Yeah, it doesn't have to be done tonight.
Okay,
Because I'll be honest with you, I think Ms. Dukestein would be good at it.
Ooh.
I think so too.
Or Ms. Zorb, so those
Mr.
are just some
Mr.
things I'd
President.
throw out.
I'm being thrown under the bus.
Yeah, I please think about it. Let's get that settled at the next meeting and hope I'm here. All right, any other new business?
Mr. President,
Ms. Zorb?
I would like to make a motion that we adjourn at 9:05.
Mr. President, I'll second that.
Motion from Ms. Zorb, second by Ms. Underwood to adjourn. Please call the roll.
Dukestein,
Yes.
Underwood,
Yes.
Zorb,
Yes.
Blythe,
Yes.
Anderson.
Yes.
Motion passed 5-0.
This meeting is adjourned. Thank you.